Hi friends. On June 1st of 2003, the first 4 families that would eventually grow into the core team that planted Columbia Grove met for the first time. In February of 2014, we will celebrate 10 years as a weekly worshiping congregation. I marvel at how God used those early steps of trust and obedience to develop the church we are today. A church known throughout the valley for her passion for community service, for strong creative arts, and most of all, for being a welcoming place where broken people can reconnect with God. There's much to thank God for in the past year. Dozens of people have made self-professed new commitments to Christ. 17 people were baptized or reaffirmed the baptism of their childhood. 4 couples got married. Families dedicated themselves and their children to the Lord. More than 100 people took the important step of getting involved in a connection group and being deliberate about growing in their faith and their Christian friendships. New leaders have stepped forward to serve. While there's still much to do, and I'm very eager to talk to you about it, before we move forward, let's take a moment to look back and gratefully say, thank you, God, for blessing Columbia Grove. Thank you, God, for letting us be a part of your loving work in the lives of people. Now, at the beginning of 2013, I spoke and wrote to you about my goals for the year. These are goals that are also shared by our leadership team. Let me give you an update on how those are going. First one, hiring an associate pastor of discipleship. Our search committee has been hard at work, and they've done a terrific job of reading profiles, of checking references, and of interviewing the many applicants for this position. There's a strong culture of prayer and a strong sense of unity within the group. They've narrowed the list wisely, and by the time you're watching this video, they may even have a person they are recommending, I should say, to you, the congregation, to consider as a candidate. It's that close. So please, friends, keep praying. Now, once a person is recommended, the decision on whether or not to call that recommended person as our associate pastor is a decision for our members. The candidate would be with us for a weekend, would meet with as many of you as are available. They would preach that Sunday, and because it would be a major part of their job description, they would lead 1 or more simulated connection groups. After the weekend, we would hold a congregational meeting, and we would ask our members to vote on whether or not to extend a call. We're looking for someone who's well-equipped to disciple and train disciple-making leaders, but even more than that, someone whose heart naturally starts beating faster when they see someone take those kinds of steps of faith and obedience. We're looking for someone who can increasingly build, train, and support our team of connection group leaders and our ministry team leaders, who in turn are equipping and caring for those who love and serve our church and community. And your faithful, generous giving has made this important step forward possible. While we're not all the way there to being able to easily afford this needed additional pastoral support, we are close enough that we can wisely take this faith step forward, trusting that as our ability as a congregation to care grows, our giving will continue to grow. And especially if we can keep the current levels of strong giving happening throughout the summer, we'll be completely on track and ready to welcome this new pastor in the fall. But speaking of this summer offers a wonderful opportunity for our family and our congregation, something called a sabbatical. Now, a sabbatical is a deliberate time of rest and rejuvenation that's given to pastors after an extended time of service, usually 6 years or more. Now, I'm very grateful that church leadership decided about a year ago to offer me the gift of a sabbatical this summer. After serving at Columbia Grove for nearly 10 years, and often working many more hours than I should be, it's time for me to refill the tank. So our family will be away from June 17th until August 31st, spending time with extended family, doing some travel, doing reading, visiting with churches and with church leaders, and most of all, asking God to refresh and renew my walk with Him and the heart that He's given me for ministry. See, I love being your pastor, and I very much want to continue to serve at Columbia Grove for many, many years to come. And I know that the only way I can do this is by staying spiritually and emotionally healthy and getting the times of rest that are needed in order to go the full distance. And while I don't feel particularly empty now, I am looking forward to seeing what fresh vision and what fresh passion pours into me from spending time with God apart from the daily demands of ministry that have been a near constant part of the last 10 years. I'm also looking forward to this summer being an opportunity for leadership in the church to be developed as people step forward to fill some of the holes that I'll leave. I'm also looking forward to our congregation growing under the teaching of interim pastor Baron Strom, and the fresh perspective to the Word that will come with that. And I'm especially looking forward to returning at the end of the summer to dive into the fall with a refreshed and renewed vision. Now, as part of this sabbatical, I will be cutting off contact with the congregation with the exception of emergency situations. Our leadership team has the resources, they have the knowledge, and they have the authority to navigate just about anything that could come up. Now, as we look forward to the fall, one of the pressing needs we'll need to figure out together is how to make room for Sunday morning worship growth. So we continue to look for alternate worship facility options that might enable us to have more space in our two services. Alternately, we're also looking at the possibility of adding a third service in our existing rental space at the school. And thus far, no obvious answer has yet presented itself. So we continue to watch and pray, and we ask you, the congregation, to continue to do that as well. We're also looking to expand our midweek ministry. We've seen the need for more classroom space in order to expand our life skills workshops, and I am also convinced that we should be doing more in terms of midweek children's discipleship, and that space is a significant part of what's holding us back from our full redemptive potential. You see, I believe that as we deepen our adult discipleship through strengthened connection groups and strengthened connection group leaders, more and more of our families will be making their children's discipleship a priority, and will see children's midweek discipleship as a good way to do that. So let's get ready for it. We are saving now towards our long-term facility needs, thanks to everyone who's been giving towards our building fund. And at the same time, we are also seeking more short-term, next-step solutions. We believe that God can lead us to and provide us with both. Now a moment to kind of give thanks to some of the people on our team. I've been so blessed to lead a talented and hardworking ministry team. Megan Rush, our Family Ministries Director, she continues to grow as a very capable minister. She's completed many college-level courses this year that have increasingly equipped her to minister well to children and their families. I'm looking forward to her obtaining more formal credentialing in this area and focusing even more of her capable efforts on this ministry as we expand our pastoral staff later in the fall. Linda Belton, currently my administrative assistant, is increasingly showing herself as a capable leader in service. Through her ministry and leadership, we've fed at-risk children through the Simple Summer Food Program. We've also pioneered something called Life Skills Workshops, and through that we've learned the power of partnering with people as they improve their lives, and we are rapidly developing an innovative microloan program whereby people are able to obtain a zero-interest loan along with financial and often life mentoring in a time of need. And so as we expand our pastoral staff later this year, I'm also looking forward to focusing even more of Linda's time and her attention on community service and with working with people. It's clearly her sweet spot. I'm so grateful to our volunteers as well, especially grateful for those who so faithfully give of their time on a weekly basis. So thanks, Dave Belton, he's our leadership team chair, you know, for your tireless commitment to the leadership life of our church. Thank you, Sean Cox, he's our leadership team vice chair. Sean, for your many helpful efforts in equipping and coordinating our volunteers, especially. Thanks, Steve Clem, he's our worship arts development director. Thanks, Steve, for your passion for worship arts and for developing worship artists. Thanks, Evan Anderson, for your rapidly developing worship leadership gifts. Thanks also to our bookkeeper, Carrie Skank, and to our financial secretary, Maureen Finney, whose critical work behind the scenes has kept us operating soundly and with integrity. And especially a thanks to our leadership team for their many hard hours of wrestling and praying through the difficult decisions that are a part of keeping a congregation on mission. Most people have no idea how much dedication it takes for ministry to run effectively and efficiently. But I do, so thanks. So 2014 is going to be an exciting year of reaching people to worship Christ, helping them to connect with community where they can grow in their faith and their friendships, and then releasing them to serve our community and world in Jesus' name. Let's gratefully pray together to the Lord of the harvest. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks for being a part of Columbia Grove. And thanks for your prayers.